Netflix's track record with romantic comedies has been a bit rough over the last decade. More often than not, they feel cheaply assembled, half-written, or filmed entirely in front of green screens. It has gotten to the point where I skip most of them unless they feature a creative team I trust. Voicemails for Isabelle lands in the latter category, mostly because of Zoe Deutsch. Whether she is appearing in auteur-driven projects, studio films, or streaming originals, she commits fully regardless of the budget. Netflix already struck gold with her once and set it up, and she is once again the biggest reason to give this movie a chance. That is not to suggest Leah McKendrick's latest directorial effort is being carried entirely by its lead. What surprised me most about Voicemails for Isabelle is that it has a bit more weight to it than the average streaming romantic comedy. Deutsch plays Jill, an aspiring baker who relocates to San Francisco while simultaneously attempting to process the death of her sister, Isabelle, who lived with cystic fibrosis throughout her life. Between professional uncertainty, grief, and the isolation of a new city, Jill feels like she is barely keeping her head above water. To cope, she leaves voicemails on her sister's old cell phone number, treating them as a private outlet. The premise hinges on the fact that someone is actually listening. That someone is Wes, played by Nick Robinson, who unexpectedly finds himself charmed by the wit, vulnerability, and humanity coming through the messages. You can guess where the story goes from there. Wes travels to San Francisco for work, engineers a way to meet her, and a relationship begins to develop. The complication, of course, is that Wes knows far more about Jill than she realizes, and secrets in romantic comedies always have an expiration date. Deutsch does the heavy lifting, navigating grief, anger, loneliness, and eventual betrayal without ever making Jill feel inconsistent. She rises to the occasion every time she is asked to overflow with suppressed emotions. Robinson takes a steadier approach, acting as a grounding presence opposite Deutsch's more emotionally volatile performance. He also gets a few surprisingly strong comedic moments, particularly during a delightfully awkward San Francisco tour bus sequence, where the film struggles is in how much it tries to juggle at once. It is simultaneously a romance, a story about grief, career ambition, and family trauma. While these elements work individually, the editing struggles to weave them together smoothly at first, jumping abruptly between emotional registers. However, once the relationship between Jill and Wes becomes the primary focus, the film finds a much stronger rhythm. The jokes land more consistently, and the balance between romance and grief becomes easier to navigate.